Dracos, 3 of them. We've got all 3 of these in for a magazine article I'm doing, and in the meantime, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of knowledge on them individually by doing some YouTube videos on them here on the channel. Standard Draco, Mini Draco, Micro Draco. This little guy is what we'll be taking a look at next, coming up on GBGuns. Little guy, the Micro Draco, is about as small as it gets with a 6 1/4 inch barrel. That's right, it's missing about 10 inches off of what an AK normally has. Going to surely be quite the fire spitter. It's got some interesting build qualities to it, and that's one of the things we're going to look at. These are made in Cugir in Romania, as stamped right there. We went and visited Cugir and the nearby areas, went to a castle. It was pretty cool. Got to spend Halloween night in Transylvania. How much cooler does it get? Wanted to take a look at the build quality and show you these things. We were unable to go to the factory at that time because Cugir is still a major arms manufacturer, not just building AKs and the like, but also other weapon systems for Romania and its allies. We see we've got a serialized dust cover, which is pretty cool. Matches the serial on the receiver and on the bolt. Reason for that being, since this is a pistol, it is not restricted by 922R, which means Century Arms can bring these in 100% Romanian. No US parts on here, which is kind of neat. The safety catches a little bit up top. It does have that little relief divot. It might wear in over time, but it's a little snaggy. So clear, and you can see there the end of our piston, which comes fully out of its guidance area. The rails are going to be what guides it. More on that in a bit. Give you a look at the rivets and pins. Mag well cut. Very interesting handguard here, which serves as a hand stop. I'm a little concerned because you can't thumbs forward on this. You can end up burning your thumb, and putting the thumb up here might get a bit toasty too, not to mention obscure your view of the sights. So this is likely going to be a magazine grip gun. We don't have any rail on the left side to snag or add weight, so that keeps everything nice and light. You can see this is a 2019 production. The basic plastic grip, probably to cut costs and because, well, everyone likes to swap out grips anyways, so why increase the cost of the gun with something that people are going to want to swap? AR manufacturers do the same thing all the time. Getting into this thing, we're going to push in on the button at the rear and pull the top cover up and off. It's stamped steel, nice and light. We can see that the rear sight is on the top cover. It's just a standard little post and slot sight system. No adjustments, but it does have some staking marks from where it was zeroed, which is a nice touch. And you notice right away we've got this block of plastic here. This feels like Delrin, which is a heavy-duty polymer used in automotive world for stuff like suspension bushings and things. I'm not sure if that's what it's made of or not, but that helps keep the piston from stroking too far, because as you can see there, we have a full inch or so of guidance coming only from the rails as this travels. That bumper is cut in a way to let you steel field strip, so you pull out your full length guide system or guide rod and spring. Then this comes out through the rear slots where the carrier would come out. We can now take our carrier to the rear, and it came out nice and clean. Give you a look at the insides there. You can see we've got the paperclip style retention for the pins, which I know a lot of folks don't like, but as far as I can tell, this is not like a Zastava, in that these pins are not made for walking. So we'll see if that holds up when we get out to the range. Nice clean construction in there. You can see that where there would normally be the rear sight block is just blocked off square. I kind of wish they had put a rail section on there, and there is really no removable tube to get in there. This is a very, very short system. Full length receiver, as best I can tell, but only a 6 1/4 inch barrel. Here we can see on the end of our carrier, which is serialized to match the receiver and the top cover, that there is no piston, just this little nub. Curious design. Bolt comes out nice and clean. Give a look at construction there. We'll also be watching to see if we get any mushrooming or mashing on the back end here. Depending on how they set up this gas system, there's going to be either a whole lot of or a whole little bit of gas to operate this thing with such a short barrel. There's not a whole lot of room for dwell time to build up pressures. To get this back together, bolt in. I like to use the thumb to keep the bolt from sliding back too far. Then we push in right at those cutouts there to get everything in place. Next, the plastic goes back in, and it goes in with this slut cut to the rear. And that keeps things from coming out. Now we can put our recoil system back in. Since AKs are stamped and then sort of crafted, if you will, there's always question about magazine fitment. Each AK can be different, even from the same manufacturer, same line. When we get this out to the range, we will be running a variety of magazines through it and a couple different loads to see what cycles. I'm really curious on such a short system how well this cycles with some of the various loads that we have on hand. Getting this top cover on is not always easy when doing it looking through the camera. You'd think after years of doing this I'd be smoother than that, but come on. There we go. Only whacked the camera once. Action feels fairly smooth. Our trigger is light and short. It actually has a discernible brake on reset. So the reset kicks you forward a little bit and then comes back to a spot and brakes right after that. So it'll actually make aimed shots a little bit easier despite this itty bitty barrel system. Curious just real quick to see how much shorter the sight radius is than it is on a standard Draco. And it turns out it's not. Look at that, folks. So you're not losing any sight radius. You're just losing mass and shortening up the gun. This could be a really fun truck gun range toy. Who knows? We'll see. Also see how effective a flash hider is going to be on a barrel less than half the length of what the AK was intended for. So we'll get that out to the range soon. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with the Micro Draco, and we'll see you on the range. Thanks for watching.